Hey everyone, today we're challenging ourselves and taking on Planco Chill's 10x10 grid space challenge. I'm going to try to fit a full Japanese Pagoda Drop Tower, complete with a Zen Garden, all inside a tiny footprint. So let's get started. So for this challenge, I had several different ideas that were running through my head. One that I almost did before doing the whole Japanese Pagoda Drop Tower was a enclosed rainforest space. We would just take advantage of foliage pieces and somehow integrate a flat ride to match the aesthetic of the place. But I thought, why not take it a step above, still use foliage to our advantage, and also build something that could be towering. And I've been wanting to make Japanese inspired type of architecture or park aesthetic for some time now. So I thought, why not try it here for the first time? And I was so excited to do so because, to be honest, this was one of my favorite builds in the game so far. It's not the largest, of course, it's just one flat ride within a 10x10 space, but it was challenging in a really fun way. I kept having to figure out, how am I going to place this flat ride? This is one that I have not used very often in the game. So I thought, why not use it here and try to fit it inside a pagoda tower, because generally they are pretty large. And well, not all of them, but they have tiers. They're towered. They could be maybe 2-3 towers high, and some can go even higher, up to like 6-7 towers high. I probably am not saying towers. It's not towers, it's floors. But I wanted to make sure that this whole flat ride was covered by the pagoda tower and make sure the base was large enough so that it makes sense. So you guys are seeing me test out different ways to make it work. I went through a few different renditions, and after some time we finally got the exact look that I was going for. Was really happy because I almost scrapped the Resurgence flat ride and almost used the newer swing flat ride. I forget the name of it, but it was from the sorcery pack. But I'm really glad this worked out because the footprint of this flat ride is perfect for this with the given space that we have, and it turned out wonderful. Next, I had to just get the first floor all decorated, add all the trim that I needed. Quick side note, you guys just saw me quickly glance over at the other flat ride. That was me testing out the swing flat ride just to check what did I do over there, and is it possible for me to do the same thing on this flat ride. It is really helpful to not get completely stuck on it has to be this one because I chose it in the start. It's pretty, it's not just to say it's fun, but it's a good idea to see what is also possible for yourself. And that's exactly what I did. I tested out, okay, is this flat ride actually the right option for me here? Ended up being so, and I'm so glad it did. Now that I have my base done, it was time to get all my trims on, decorations, really bring the realism of a pagoda tower to life. I also want to point out that I used Pinterest and Google Images to really help me get the finished look I was hoping to achieve here. And also a big shout out to Coaster Cow. I was watching his Sakura coaster video. I highly recommend you guys go check it out. Not just the editing of the video and the way he portrayed the build style as well as the coaster POVs. It really helped me get an idea of how to use the pieces we're given in Planet Coaster 2 to achieve Japanese architecture. Because we don't have anything that's actually Asian themed in the game like we do in Planet Zoo or Jurassic Evolution 3. You have to really use your creativity and try to make the pieces work for you. So even the roof pieces on this building, I had to go through 3-4 different looks and finally realized that this one is the best one. And the trim that you're seeing on the roof is actually inspired by Coaster Cow. It's really helpful because this is something I would not have directly thought of. I did go into the Jurassic Evolution game actually, just to see how some of the architecture is done, how Frontier actually creates those scenery pieces, and how we can maybe replicate that in Planet Coaster 2. It was really helpful to do that because it gave me an idea of how modular building isn't just similar in these two games, but some of the scenery pieces are similar that you can use it to your advantage. So when it comes to building in this game, it really opened my eyes to, oh, we have a lot of possibilities in the future, and it got me really excited for what's coming. Because like I said, I've been wanting to make Japanese inspired architecture and just a park in this game for some time. Japan in general is a place that my wife and I would like to make a trip to very soon, hopefully this year. So I thought, this is the best way to push myself to get really inspired and maybe even make that trip happen. Now we're taking care of the scenery pieces for the ride queue path as well as just the Zen Garden. This is something I do with all my builds and most of my parks. I will on the side just make scenery pieces that I find will be either replicated and used frequently in the build. I did it on a dark ride. I built all my triggers and target points beforehand, and it was very helpful. So here we're building the typical bridge style you will see in Japanese towns, Zen Gardens, anything like that. You guys have seen them in TV shows and movies. I'm not exactly sure about what the name is on this type of bridge. I'm sure there is one, and I should have checked that beforehand. But the overall look that I wanted, I had an idea of it. So once I knew what I wanted, it was about what scenery pieces are going to help me achieve that look. So we tested out different ways to make a railing. Here I'm just taking these same, I believe it's the sorcery pack beams that are curved. You guys saw me use it on the edge of the bridge, and now we're using it as a rail as well. It's amazing how versatile so many pieces in this game are. And after this, you will see me actually make an attempt at making a torii gate. A very iconic structure in Japanese culture. So I wanted to make sure that I get that down right. And before I go off that, this is I'm trying my best at making like a Japanese box lamp. I looked at a few images on Pinterest, and basically this was the sort of idea that I was going for. Having basically a wood trim around the lamp, I think really helped me achieve the overall look that I was hoping to get. And I don't want to plead and beg to Frontier, but I really do hope that they introduce some kind of Asian DLC, some kind of pack like that in the future, like we have in some of the other games. It would be so cool. And if they did that before I build a Japanese themed amusement park, oh my gosh, that would be a blessing in the sky. So, blessing in the sky? That's not right. Blessing in disguise. Okay. And finally got the overall bridge look achieved. So happy with the way it turned out. Now, in a lot of Zen Gardens, you will see this type of little small temple or shrine. I wasn't exactly sure how I can achieve this, but I remember, again, we're using a sorcery pack and taking the very small archways and also taking the platform trick, being able to use the rotational tool, and it is so helpful. You guys are seeing that happen here, as well as making a custom roof. One of my first attempts actually to make a custom roof in this game. Something I realized after doing this is that I didn't need to use so much or so many of those wooden block, I believe they're the resort balcony pieces. I ended up using so many of them that I was only able to use one of these shrines, these little mini temple shrines in the blueprint, because when I placed them down, I placed one, I placed the second one down, and I went over the 8,000 piece limit because of the roof. There's so many individual pieces that it took me over the limit. So we were only able to stick one of these, which is perfectly fine because it is large enough and you only need one. But it did make me second guess, how I make roofs in the future. And I have a better idea now, especially for blueprint builds, right? If you guys want to download that, but I love taking that into consideration. It's just a challenge on top of a challenge, which makes you, really test your creativity. So this is the overall finished look for the temple and shrine. I hope I got a good representation of it. I'm sure I could have done a better job, but for the time being, was pretty happy with this build. Now, this is the torii gate that I had mentioned while we were building the bridge. A little bit challenging because there's this curved piece that sits at the top of the torii gate, and I hope I'm saying that right. Like, maybe my pronunciation might not be the best for the word torii. I believe spelled Torii. This piece right here, there's a bit of a curve, and I'm sure if I took a bunch of individual little pieces, I could have achieved it. But again, that would have added to our piece count. And this individual scenery piece here, I needed quite a few of these, maybe like 4 or 5, maybe even 6. So I wanted to make sure that we didn't go overboard with the piece count, because this is going to be a pretty dominant structure throughout the build. And you guys will see what I mean once these are placed down. It really helps bringing the overall Japanese aesthetic together. Here we're building something that I had seen in a couple of images. It is a bamboo type of fountain. There's actual bamboo piece that has a hole through it that looks like a spot where water would come out of. However, I didn't like the way the texture on that piece was. It was a little too smooth and perfect. So I went for this other, oh shoot, I can't remember the name, but it's another resort piece set. And that little wear and tear on the actual bamboo, as well as just trying to achieve that exact look, that I'm really glad we went with that, to be honest. I was thinking about something else, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out, and taking the shape, the circular shape piece, and just sinking them in to make it look like there's a hole here. Very doable, something I've done quite a few times in different builds. Now you guys are seeing basically stepping stones that you will see in some Zen gardens, especially when they're surrounded by maybe a koi pond and such. This was one of my, it looks tedious, but it was one of my favorite moments in the build, because it's something I've never done. But it was kind of cool to see it all together once it was done, and you guys will see that in a little bit here. And we're going to basically bring everything together. I'll let you guys see that for a little bit. We'll do a little speed build, although the whole video is a bit of speed build. And I will see you guys in the walkthrough. Alright. So here we are with the finished build. And this has to be one of my favorite builds now. Because I've been saying, if you guys have seen the Winter Guard series, I have been saying that Aier's port has been one of my favorite builds. But when it comes to a small footprint like this, I'm in love with this build. And if I didn't have to restrict myself to 8,000 pieces, I would have added much more detail. But everything turned out wonderful. And I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Here we are right at the entrance, taking one of those torii gates and using it right here as a sign holder, basically. And I made sure that the guest head is not being clipped by this. So first thing they'll see is they'll go over one of these bridges. And there's that small shrine with the candle inside, and all throughout is the I guess I can't say koi pond because we don't have fish in there, but if I were to update this, I will definitely add some fish and make that maybe a little deeper. But I'm so happy with adding the rock as a base on the bottom because it really goes well together with everything. As a guest weave over here, actually we skipped this little part right here with the little bamboo water spout. I think I said fountain earlier, but maybe water spout would be the more appropriate term for this. And just a small little fruit cutting area. We can assume that, you know, they just clean their food right here. Just so happy with the way all this whole turned out. And also these little bases for the trees. It's something I saw on Pinterest being used in some Zen Gardens. And honestly, I'm so happy with the way that whole look turned out. Just the whole build. I'm going to keep saying it over and over. And I'm sorry guys, but it's such a fun build. And the guests will come right over here. Head into the queue as they're waiting. There's a lot of people in here. And not much going on in here. Again, if I were to update this, I will definitely add some more scenery pieces, things on the wall to really sell the overall look of what you might see inside a pagoda tower. This isn't very exciting, right? You guys know that. But I wonder if I can get on this seat that is facing the front. Yes. So they see a bit out the window. That's why I removed the trim from the top piece here. And I'm trying to think of what I compared this to. Maybe a little similar to the, I believe it's not there anymore in Disneyland, the Haunted Tower, the elevator ride. Kind of close to that. I think that would be the best comparison. But yeah, you guys know the ride isn't, you know, super exciting. But to be honest, it came in very handy for this. As you look up, that's pretty cool. I know it's just roof pieces, but the way they're lined up, it is it's not too hard on the eyes. So the guests will exit right through here, and this is basically an enlarged version of the bridge. This is one of the finishing points of the, you know, little mini river in the Zen Garden. And I also used the lily pads and changed the color of the flower parts to something similar what color scheme you would see. Sorry, I don't know why I had difficulty saying that. A color pattern that you'll see on the cherry blossoms, and just made it look like they had fallen into the river. And basically this is where the guests will exit, and they'll see another torii gate. And you guys saw the torii gate being used throughout the build here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this build. I had so much fun, and I cannot wait to do more like this, as well as start a Japanese park. It's gonna be so cool. I really believe that, and I hope Frontier releases some kind of Asian themed DLC. I don't know if that is anywhere in the future, but would be really cool if they did. But thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this build as much as I did, and this will also be available in the workshop for you guys to download. I'll make sure that that code is in the description. But thank you so much, and I hope you guys are having a wonderful day as well as a wonderful week. Take care. Bye.